Just how powerful is the Retaliate bonus for the enemy in Gloomhaven? Join us as we discuss this and much more while we battle the hard AI in the Copperhead Mountains, here on Legendary Tactics. Alright, so we are heading north to the Frozen Hollow, deep in the Copperhead Mountains. This is,
I like that color commentary.
Exactly. Yeah, so I thought we'd take a look today at the Retaliate feature. In this level, it really shines. There's a lot of enemy with the Retaliate.
Really?
As a built-in feature of the enemy. So.
Because I remember Craighart had a bunch of Retaliate in the tutorial, but I haven't run into it very much in my own game. I haven't played as much as you have, obviously. But.
Yeah, no, and I hadn't come across it a lot in enemies until this particular level, and I got to tell you, this level really made me work for it. So
yeah,
I think I took about maybe 10, 20 turns at this level to finally crack the code, as you'd say.
Yeah.
So,
oh man, it's incredible how many times you have to play each scenario before you can beat it, and there's 95 scenarios. Yeah. So,
well, this is kind of neat, by the way. So the storyline we're just watching right now, we just met an Aster named Hale, and Hale that's kind of the reason we're going to the Copperhead Mountains. Hale has directed us there, so and never shoot the birds, by the way. Yeah,
okay.
Never shoot birds. So that was our encounter on the way there. So
yeah, you're beginning to see repeats of the encounters.
Yeah, and
right?
I've actually tried. Sometimes I've shot at them, sometimes I haven't, and every time you shoot at them, only bad things happen. So
okay,
I don't know. Maybe the next time I come across them, I'll just shoot them again, see what happens, just for fun. But oh yeah, so.
Yes.
So the objective here is we're going to seek out the Aster Enchanter, and we've got to sort of conquer the level here on the Copperhead Mountains.
Yes. Now, are you bringing along any items of interest, or like healing potions, anything that you feel you need to have?
Oh, yeah, and actually, so the one thing I've really been able to do, especially with the Berserker, is health regen. He's got some serious health regen going on.
Nice.
There's a card effect he has. It's card number 10, and I'm blanking on the name, but it'll come to me as soon as I see it in a minute here.
Yes.
But it is for every enemy he strikes, he gains 2 health.
Wow.
And it's called the Maw of Madness, and so it's the top half of the Maw of Madness, and it is actually a really it's one of my go-to cards actually. I'll be
great.
recycling it a fair bit in this first little bit here, because as you can see here, we've got those 4 wolves with Retaliate all on them.
Yeah.
So my plan is, and what I kind of puzzled out is, you got to jump right into it, use that Maw of Madness right away, because they're going to be retaliating on you when you hit them, so you're going to lose health. So the Maw of Madness attacks each for 3 any adjacent enemies. It muddles them. And it gives you a plus 2 heal for each enemy targeted.
Wow.
So it's a pretty powerful card.
Yeah, but you need something like that just to make a dent in their defense.
Exactly.
Eh?
So now each of them have hit me for 2, and so I'm taking all kinds of hit. But the Maw of Madness will do its work here and just heal me right back up again
and restore you.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's...
Yeah, it's just too bad that card, you can't use that card every round.
But here's where you can. I use the minor stamina potion, and I'm allowed to recover 1 spent card. So the Maw of Madness is coming right back into play.
That's
so,
nice.
So yeah, it's you hit the nail right on the head there. So
nice, that's perfect.
Now,
yeah. Well, it's good, I mean, for beginners to understand how Retaliate works, which is basically when you strike a villain with Retaliate, they hit right
so
back.
So there's 2 exceptions. The first one is right there, where the scoundrel killed the wolf. There's no Retaliate in that situation. And the second situation would be there's no Retaliate if you do a ranged attack.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
Yes,
so it's
that makes
only a
sense.
melee attack that the Retaliate comes into play.
Yeah.
And I do have a shirt of
So-
healing on right now, so I'm actually... Oh, by the way, then there's a lot of enemies with shields in this. You can see that
Yes.
that little sorcerer there with 4 shields ladled on him. So,
Wow.
yeah.
So did you come in with specific equipment with piercing?
Yes. So
Yeah.
the Scoundrel's got a piercing weapon. I believe I put the piercing weapon on the Berserker too. I'd have to double check, but the Berserker has actually a card 57, and I'm drawing on that name, but I'll see it in a minute. Where it is,
Yep.
you take two health damage, and ignore all shields.
Wow.
So you can actually just pierce through those. Problem is though, that little sorcerer is only the first of about I think there's 4 or 5 or 6 in this level.
Wow.
With shields of like strength to be regarded. So
Yes.
so
Yeah.
now, yes, I can recycle my cards,
Wow.
but yeah, there is a fair bit waiting for me. So.
And this took you how many times?
I'd probably say
to beat
probably
it?
closer to 20, 15 to 20. It was
Wow.
not easy. These wolves were the first bit. Like I mean, usually I can get through the first room and a half, no problem. But the final room is maybe the hardest, and it's just yeah. You just by the time you get there, you're almost spent. So
Oh.
yeah,
Wow.
it was really finding. This answer here was a big solve, getting right in the middle of the wolves.
Yes.
And using that Maw of Madness was
Maw of
really
Madness.
key. Also, I really had
Yeah.
to tailor my cards to make sure I had like optimal. Like you have no cards that you can waste in this situation.
Really?
Yeah, so every card has to be like of total benefit.
So what happens when they start getting burned for during during rest?
I generally what I would generally do is I like to have to give myself some movement, so a little bit of cards with extra long movement in them.
Mm-hmm.
So usually it would be a movement card, at least on the bottom half, that I'm going to give up first, because I have a couple to play with. So see there's a 7 damage though. So there I'm gonna burn a card because it's just not worth the 7 damage.
Yeah, that's
It's,
yeah. That's where fun is tough for the Berserker, because the Berserker's tanky, but there's some times where it's just unacceptable levels of damage. You just
exactly.
can't.
Can't go that far, right? Now the Berserker, like I was saying earlier, I've really jacked up his heal potential.
That's great.
Yeah, and also this Scroll of Stamina. So this Scroll of Stamina is pretty awesome. It allows your teammate to recover 2 withdrawn cards or discarded cards.
Oh, nice.
So
that's
I've already
great.
really used the Maw though to the most effect in the. I don't really need it right now, although it is helpful. It has the lower half has actually got a great ranged ability.
Yes.
So you do a 3 attack, and then you can suffer up to 5 damage more to add up to 5 more extra damage.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
So you can really jack up. Mind you, it does come at a 5 damage cost.
Yes.
So
yeah. But if you have the heal, like I think this is you crafting the deck to suit the character. And I don't know how much you craft the deck to suit the scenario as well.
This is one of the first situations I really had to do exactly that. There are others coming up where I've had to even do it more so, but this one I had to be very, very mindful that I had either a strong move, strong attack, a balance of ranged attacks. See right here, the Trickster's Reversal. So,
keeps you protected.
However, it's a burn card, so that's a 1 and done, and I lose the bottom half of it, which is the next time you suffer damage.
Oh yes, that's the one you normally.
But if you don't get rid of that enemy, you can't. You have to get. You can't move on. You can move on to the next room, but you won't win. It'll just keep coming after you. So.
It's almost like with this game you're playing that Tom Cruise movie Die Another Day, like you keep waking up and it's the morning of the same day and you have to like relive the same.
Yes, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Until you figure out the combination that's going to to beat the baddies.
Exactly. I was going to mention to you for the Berserker as well. The From the Brink. That's card 24 there. That's the top half. We mentioned it in other videos, but basically it's a heal. You heal out wherever you're at to your max heal. It's a full recharge. So if you're down to like 1 health and I'm at a 23, I would heal me straight back up. So
yes, but it's a burn.
It's a burn card, yeah. So, but I mean, it's basically like a second life, right? You have a full second life if you can.
Wow.
Yeah. So the Berserker's got and plus the Berserker has a lot 8 points worth of heal. So there's a lot of I have a lot of options with healing for the Berserker. So I need the Berserker to be the one taking a lot of damage. Scout, not so much. I mean, Scout does have the 20 health, but also we have these initiative opportunities as well, where we can actually raise or lower our initiative level by 10.
Yeah.
And that is very helpful when you want to go first and finish off an enemy before letting them attack.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it is controlling the timing of when you go. I find the Scoundrel usually can go first if, or at least I find a lot of times you're able to choose whether you want to go first or last out of the whole group.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, with Scoundrel?
Typically.
Yeah. So you can see here's our next room, and there's 3 more enemies with Retaliate.
Man.
And then another Sorcerer in the back as well.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I'm going to use my my longbow. I'm not going to use the longbow yet. I'll just do a regular attack here. I'm going to save that the piercing.
It's almost like you could use the same Maw of Madness kind of approach because it looks like you're about to be swarmed.
I know, but they need to be adjacent, and they're not quite in that position yet. So.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but that may be coming up.
Now, I do have that option with the one-shot kill with all 3 of those ice monsters because they're regular. They're regular monsters.
Oh,
so
nice.
I do have that, and I'm trying to kind of set that up so that this Scoundrel could come in and just finish off. I don't want them getting too close together. That's what I really don't want happening.
Yes.
So
that's why you pull
the one closer, in hopes that the other one won't go beside it. Now they're shielding up perfect, so that's even better. But it also means that if the Scoundrel can get in there, and as long as this fella doesn't walk too close, and he just did, so that kind of ruined it. So because they're adjacent now, I can't use that.
That Scoundrel card.
Yeah, it's ineffective. However, that one just set himself up to be destroyed because he is beside me and alone, so that one can go down.
Yeah, that's well. At least it's one of them.
Unfortunately, I didn't pick it right yet, so I have to get into position here, which we will be doing shortly. So this long con card, it's an initiative 2. And the bottom half of it is kind of fun. It's force one adjacent normal or elite enemy to perform its turn this round as if it's an ally. And its enemies were allies with you controlling the action. So you control where it moves and where it attacks.
That's
so
cool.
Now it is a burn card, but it's kind of a fun one. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
You get to go and smash up the enemies with themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if you've got a powerful enemy to control, maybe take out a weaker one.
Exactly. Yeah. So
tilt the board in your advantage.
The one snag with Scout is that we don't have a lot of. Scout only has 9 cards. Berserker has 10, so that extra card is kind of significant when you're getting to the very end of it. But
yes, absolutely.
So you have to be very, very mindful, especially with burning cards with Scout, because you don't want, or Scoundrel. You don't want to be willy-nilly with it. But the long con is kind of a sweet kind of
Well, and it's a situational, but I find in Gloomhaven.
Oh, and this is where I just dropped my initiative so that I could go in front of. So I use those boots of striding. Just so we're aware of that. But sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that in Gloomhaven, I find it's really about trying to manage. Well, I'll say managing the initiative is a really important thing. If you can see where you can use those boots of striding right after you see where all the initiatives
Yes,
line up.
correct.
Oh, that's handy. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I was just thinking that in Gloomhaven, I find the card count is set up like it's really on a knife's edge. Like you don't have a lot of time to waste.
Oh,
You have
no.
just enough
Yeah.
to win
Yeah.
in most cases, and you don't usually have a lot left in terms of your
Exactly.
cards.
No, you're exactly right. And it's
Yeah.
I've had a lot of games where it's you're almost holding your breath. This one is no exception. Actually, you'll see what I'm talking about closer to the end. But
Yeah.
it's down to the wire. So which is what I really
Yeah.
love about this game. It makes this game just
Yeah.
the replayability is so great for that reason, right? Like there's just so much
Yeah.
tension. That
Oh, that was it. Yeah.
there's
that's
that
nice.
there was that the visage of inevitability. So.
Yes, the visage. Yes.
And the nice thing is, I've got the next one set up as well. If I wanted to recycle my
Yeah.
cards, I could actually
Yeah.
take the next one out. But I think the scoundrel has kind of a relatively large mint of cards right now, so I don't know if that's the wisest.
Yeah. Although the berserker's looking a little bit tired out too.
Yeah. The berserker is going to need to take that heal card this turn.
Yeah, for sure.
So my dilemma is: do I take a short rest and get that visage back, or do I just play it out?
Yeah, even though yeah,
So
because that costs you a card.
it's a 50-50 chance that it'll burn. However, I can take 1 damage and ensure I get it back.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go for it and I did. So I have to just take a damage and draw the other card. So
Yeah.
so
Oh,
yeah,
man.
you know what though? Totally worth. Now I don't want to be using it in
Well, time's of the essence, right?
Yeah, you don't have a lot of time. Now I don't like that I already have 3 burned cards. That's not great.
Yeah. Because you have another room after this?
Have another room to go yet. Now I'm invisible, so the fact that I
Yeah.
went last is not a huge problem for the scoundrel. Being invisible, they can't target you, so it's fine.
Yeah.
And I kind of wanted to see what would happen with where they'd move to. Oh, so
Yeah,
here
but poor
I have to
Berserker's
actually I have to
taken-
burn a card now because it's
Yeah.
dead otherwise.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, it's not death. It's exhaustion.
It is, yes, that's true. So that was another reason I did it, so that now I can actually use this the visage to kill the stronger of the 2 enemies.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus the enemy down below there has a wound on it, so it's going to be slowly bleeding anyway.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, but you still got the sorcerer to deal with. Like,
yeah.
this is,
yeah, and this is only the
like-
middle room, so
Wow.
yeah. So there's a lot more fun coming yet, but now I'm at
that's
8. I'm at
amazing.
8 points. I'm almost at an area where I wouldn't
Yeah.
necessarily need to use. So you see there, I used it. It was a lower. Now it is a ranged attack, but it was attack 2, and a move of 3. So I was like, okay, I can get rid of that. It's not ideal, but you never want to lose cards. But
Yeah.
yeah, so we're getting there on this middle room here, which is
Yeah.
good.
Slowly. I mean, yeah. But it's it just takes a while to hack your way through all the enemies.
Yes, yeah. So I'm gonna zip over with Scoundrel, and then do some ranged attack here, and I can use my piercing. So hopefully, and just don't get it. Oh! So that was a bit of a burn because I also lose the card.
Oh no.
Yeah, I drew the bad modifier.
Yes.
So, and this is actually looking a little bit bleak. I mean, Berserker's looking pretty thin here.
Yeah, I know. Like, I mean, good for you. I would have maybe considered bailing on this.
I did
one,
have
trying-
the from the brink
trying
card
again.
though, so that just heals me straight back up. So you can see 1 card, and I'm
Yeah.
chock full again. So
Yeah.
and now this enemy will
Wow.
die on their turn. Oh, the fact
Yep.
that spears alive still is really, really annoying.
Yeah. Because I assume when you win, you can't have any of your guys exhausted, or
It depends on the
or
level.
you
You can.
yeah,
There are perk points often that say, "Hey, look, try and survive with both,
yeah,
with no enemies going or allies going down."
yeah, yeah,
So I'm gonna start going into the next room with the,
yeah. That's interesting
or at
timing.
least get
Like,
out, get out
okay,
of my
well,
way here a little bit. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's interesting because I mean, doesn't that? Well, I guess it depends on the level, of course, but you don't want to open too many doors too quickly because then you end up getting snowed
Yeah,
under.
so in this case, I had the Berserker has this the Unstoppable Destruction. So I pay 2
Yeah.
damage and I ignore the 3 shields. It's attack 4. So and I just needed a
Oh.
4, not a 3. So great. Well, that's just a real kick. This one's been a hard one to take
Yeah.
down. So
Yeah. Oh man.
we're close because now even attack 3 doesn't really cut it. Like attack 2, you need attack
No.
4 or. So I could do that strength and agony
Jeez.
and take 2 more damage, and
And
yeah,
it done.
possibly as long as I don't get bad
Yeah.
modifiers again. So so we're gonna move in.
Yeah, I love this. Scoundrels just off. Just I need to breathe.
Yeah. That's right. Oh, now I was trying to math it out here because it says move forward. This is add +1 attack to all your attacks this round.
Okay.
It looks like I actually know what it is. You need to have created an element. That's what it is.
Oh yes, that's what it is.
Because
Yeah.
I've been noticing sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't, but it's only when I've created an element that it'll happen.
Yes. Yeah, that's something. That's yet another variable. To keep track of. And to be honest, I've always found it very hard to work around the elements that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Because sometimes there's just you got to have the timing for it to work. Otherwise, I mean, it's great when it happens.
Now there
but
are
it's not something that's-
supports you can buy from the general store in Gloomhaven that'll
Yeah.
allow you to craft
Yeah.
any element you want. So
Oh, okay. Yeah. So okay, if that's the case.
so now the scoundrels.
just
See, the
to-
reason I was resting with scoundrels, I'm getting low on cards. I didn't want to move in.
Yeah.
And so I did a long rest. So that's why I got Scoundrel out of the way, so I could pick the next card I wanted out of my deck.
But you only have 4 cards left, eh?
4 cards left for the Scoundrel, so it's gonna be a lot of the Berserker doing the yeoman's work. Actually, yeah, doing the yeoman's work here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're getting into the final room here, so it's really time to sort of start mathing it out.
Yeah, but entering the final room with only 4 cards. For
the Scoundrel.
Well, and actually, the Berserker only has 5, so it's not like there's a ton of cards available. I guess it depends what's in the last room.
Yeah, it's gonna really boil down to that. So, it will be, and this last room, of course, is like the hardest. So,
Oh, of course, yeah.
And there's more.
They save the best, like for just when you're in the last little bit of energy you
Thinking
have.
you can, yeah, that's right. Just get everything. So here comes the Maw of Madness into play again. So I'm gonna be using the Maw here, because I had hindsight of knowing what's behind this door and where to go. So I'm gonna be able to.
Yeah.
Um,
No, that's super handy.
yeah.
So what are you up against here?
And actually, you know what? I was 1 click short. Oh, I forgot that I had to go 2 spaces, so that was a bit of a burn. But it's another wolf with a retaliate, 2 sorcerers, and 1 or 2 ice. I think it's 1 ice monster there. So
Wow.
yeah. So there's a fair bit, and of course, everything in the room has to be taken out.
And again, shields.
Yeah. So we've got to eliminate all these enemies.
Wow.
Yeah.
With a grand total of 9 cards between.
Yeah, that's
you.
right. And I mean, each of those sorcerers have 3 shields on them. Like, so,
Yeah. Wow.
So we're
Now, I've heard it said though that actually the game itself is hardest at the earlier stages. And then it as your characters get to be more powerful, it kind of tips to towards easier, actually. Like it's less challenging as the game goes on. So I'll be curious to see as you work your way through the campaign if you find that.
Yeah, so far I've really found it ebb and flow. There's like levels that I've found are cakewalks, and then other levels that I find that are like this one here, for example, was a really tough one to solve. And I don't know if it's just like, my play style and how I approach the level and how I kind of want to do things versus, the actual difficulty of the level. Oh, by the way, I had this retrieve card, so I was able to retrieve this scroll stamina. Nice. And so I can get the Berserker to pull back those 2 cards that the Berserker just played.
Yeah.
And so that'll allow the Maw of Madness to really come into effect this next turn. So
yeah. It seems like you wouldn't be able to beat it without those potions.
Oh, no, 100% not. And even some of the cards were absolutely critical. Like the Maw of Madness, the Visage of the Inevitable. Like without those cards, this level is, I think, impossible for these characters.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. So we've got early initiative for the wolf there, but I'm gonna pull my boots of striding and zip stride right on past.
Yeah, that's handy.
And then I realized that I'm immobilized, so perfect. However,
But you wanted the initiative so you could attack first, maybe even kill the...
That's right. So I could at least get the wolf down. My hope was to have zipped in among all 3 of them and then use the Maw. But I can use the I've got a lot of attacks actually in these 2 cards. So the Maw of Madness would do it. It would be a retaliate of 2 again, and there's that retaliate. On me, but my dilemma is I could use the bottom half of that, which I could suffer health damage to attack more, but at further damage to myself. So is it, it becomes, is it worth it, right? Yeah. So this one was almost like an even attack for a wash, because the Maw of Madness healed me back up. So I basically got 3 attack for free on it. So now Scoundrel here could finish off the wolf at least, hopefully, barring a bad draw. Yeah. Okay. So now we're down to a 19 ice guy there, and two sorcerers. So that's and like 3 cards to play with. So.
Jeez! Wow. Yeah, but you really just have to play this out and see how you do.
Yeah, exactly.
But you really don't have a lot of time, that's for sure.
No, there's the Frost Demon Elite there, yeah.
It's funny, like health almost becomes very much a secondary consideration.
In this particular game, I'm like, I'm not. The cards are way too valuable currently, so I can long rest with the Scoundrel or short rest, and I think I'm gonna go with the short because I just need to get turns in.
Yeah, I don't think you've got the.
So I do have that great ability where I can force. That long con is still in effect. However, if I use the long con, I would.
It's a burn
card.
though.
Yep, and I would have no. It would be my last turn
with 3 cards left.
So the question is it worth it?
Yeah, you got 2 turns left really, and if you use the long con, then you wouldn't.
Right.
So it'd be the last move of
now I could have saved the long con and then. And I can still save it
that's true.
for the next turn, so it would be my last turn anyway.
Yeah.
But in this case, I'm gonna actually use the attack 4. I get to target, but I'm gonna switch over and attack the other 2. I'm gonna attack the first one. I want to disarm. The other one's already poisoned, so I wanna get some damage on this other sorcerer.
Yeah, but is poison, I mean, this close to the end, is it poison going to really do
he's
the
at
job?
1 health, so that one's going to die. In the top corner
okay.
there.
Yeah.
And that was a great shot. Oh. So totally just...
That was what you needed.
Yeah, totally what I needed there. So that luckily just finished. So now we're down, and that other one's going to die. So then we're just down to the ice monster.
Yeah, well, that's good.
So, and I have this suffer 2 damage, and I can do 4 attack, ignoring the shields.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
So that's not bad. I just like a nice double 4 here would be great.
Yes.
Okay, +1. All right, so we're down to 7 health. Um, it's getting tight.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Uh,
So Scoundrel has 1 turn
oh,
left, right?
and
Or
that
is it?
spirit didn't actually die. I guess the poison doesn't whittle it down. So it's even better.
Oh,
So there's still
wow.
2 enemies to kill here. So that's great, actually. That's
You
just
need the
great.
Maw of
I need the Maw of
Madness.
Madness big time. So we got,
Yeah.
and Scoundrel has 1 more turn here. The good news
Yes.
is I can
Then
use the long con to decent effect here. And
Yeah, you may as well.
yeah,
No downside.
have the I wanted to go last just in case Berserker finishes it off. I don't have to. So I'm giving
Yeah.
Scoundrel every inch of opportunity to survive here.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
So I could use that, but now my health is getting a touch low. Oh, just not enough yet. Okay, so I'm down to 3 health because there's that retaliate again is in effect here. So
Oh, jeez, that retaliate is for melee fighters is really you got to really work that into your strategy.
yeah, so I'm gonna take 2 damage because I
It's
want to
not
get
nothing.
I want to do all I can do to ensure that. So I'm down to 1 health for the Berserker here. And it was enough. It was. I
Cutting
had
it
to make
close.
sure it was enough to kill off that. Yeah, that last one. Now so
Yeah.
oh, this could be Berserker's final, but I can burn a card.
Yep.
So that's fine.
Wow.
That means it's the Berserker's last play. So it's all down to the Scoundrel here, basically. The Scoundrel
Yes.
has to move in and destroy.
Yeah, you won't be using the long
So
con
it's
for
attack
the,
4. As long as it's a neutral attack, it's game over. If I have any negative qualifiers, I lose the game. And the attack is yes, +1.
Wow.
So
That is about as close as you can get.
indeed. So that was that was
Wow.
right down to the wire. No cards, no health.
Yeah.
Oh,
Unbelievable. Wow, that must have been satisfying. I mean, there was definitely some luck that played into that. You got exactly
However,
what you needed.
that being said, I also, I did lose out on that 1 attack earlier on with the shields, but you can see the damage
Yeah,
done,
that's
for
true.
example. 78 for the Berserker, 78 damage taken. So I also took a lot of damage. Items
Yeah.
used 12, there were some major records there. So enemies killed for the Scoundrel, 8. We both scored on our perk points, which was kind of nice. Neither player was exhausted,
perfect.
and the first to kill was the monster was the correct one, so... Let's just see what Hale has to say here.
You enter the abandoned tavern and call out to Hale. With no response, you wander around, observing the chaotic mess around you. You wonder how she gets any work done in this environment. As you approach the counter, Hale appears before you, holding the orb. Very interesting. She doesn't seem to notice you at all. A rift in our plane, somehow contained within a spherical barrier. Good thing you didn't break this on your way back. You easily could have been sucked into a realm of pure frost and been frozen solid before you had time to breathe. It's just so confounding. Who would have the power to do this? Hale takes a step to the left and disappears again. You wait for what feels like hours, refusing to sit on the few stools that haven't yet fallen apart. You call out occasionally, but receive no response. Oh, you're still here. You turn around to see Hale in the middle of the room. Good. I'd like to experiment on you if it's all right. She reaches out to you and you stumble backward, falling over a table that splinters into hundreds of pieces. Oh, don't be a baby about it. I'm pretty sure it will end well. Hale explains that she wants to try to bring forth raw power from another plane and contain it in a small orb that could give enhanced powers to anyone possessing it. The containment process, however, requires a lot of gold metal. Now that you have helped me in my endeavors, I suppose I should return the favor. Hale sighs. So, what was it exactly that you wanted?
So we unlocked the Enchantress as well.
Oh,
and
interesting.
we also opened the Vibrant Grotto up. So that is the another location to be tackling, and that is where I thought I'd just peek on it. So this is an interesting one because it's actually an objective where you just have to loot. The objective was to loot 5 chests. Yeah, so that was kind of and I thought, oh, that's a neat twist on the thing. So
yeah, well, it's nice you're not doing the same thing every single time.
Exactly.
That's good. All right, well, thanks again for watching. For those of you who made it this far, and this is Legendary Tactics.